Hi everybody and welcome back to Main Mission Hope. My name's Rob and I'm really glad you're here with me today because this channel is for anyone who's new to Christianity or returning after some time away or trying to figure out some answers to some big questions about faith. And today I want to carry on talking about something incredibly heavy but important. Why does God allow so much suffering in our world, amongst adults, amongst children, and even animals? And this is a question that if it doesn't shake us, you've got to ask yourself why. But I do believe Christianity offers hope even in the hardest moments, when we're going to explore this together. And this video is part of a whole series on suffering. Suffering is an incredibly emotive and important part of exploring religion, whether that be Christianity or any other one. And remember, you always must approach the subject of suffering very delicately indeed. In fact, if you're watching this video because you want an explanation of suffering in order to bring you into Christianity, for example, that's a hard ask to have, I think. I would be very, very surprised if anybody who wasn't a person of faith, at least a little bit already, could hear the explanation about suffering and go, that's it, that pushed me over the edge, I'm going to be a Christian now. I think really you have to have some faith and belief first, and then you start exploring the idea of suffering, like, well, wait a minute, okay, so I do believe in Jesus and God, and he is all powerful and he is all loving. Why is there so much suffering? And I need the answers to these questions. And that's what this is all about. So, for example, if I was asked about suffering by a non-Christian or a non-faithful person who said, okay, so why is there so much suffering in the world then? I would be very, very careful about how I would answer, because people have real, tangible suffering in their lives. Suffering is all around us. You know, we see it in the struggles of grown-ups facing loss or pain, and children enduring things they shouldn't have to, and animals caught in a world that can be so harsh. It's natural to wonder, if God is good and all-powerful, why doesn't he stop it? And I've wrestled it with myself, the church has for 2,000 years, and I know it can make faith feel fragile. But there are some answers, ones that don't erase the pain, but maybe give it some meaning. So to guide us in this video, I'm going to introduce some modern Catholic scholars who've spent their lives studying this mystery. These thinkers matter because they connect the ancient truths of our faith with the questions we face today. There's Andrew Lindsay, an Anglican whose work on animal rights has shaped Catholic thought. Then there's Christopher Steck, a Jesuit priest who digs into how animals fit into God's plan. And Trent Doherty, a philosopher who ponders if animals might share in redemption. They're like light in the fog, helping us, and maybe everybody else, to see God's love more clearly. So, what do these scholars say about suffering? First, they tell me that I can't fully grasp God's way. The Catechism of the Catholic Church says, his plans are beyond my understanding. That's humbling. It means we need to trust even when we don't see the whole picture. And there's nothing wrong with that. If it's a mystery, it is a mystery. They also point to a classic idea from St. Thomas Aquinas. Evil isn't something God makes, it's a lack of good, a shadow in a world broken by sin. Suffering happens because things aren't as God first intended. But here's the hope. God can draw good from it, like strength or kindness that grows in us through hard times. For animals, it gets trickier. Some, like Lindsay and Streck, suggest God's love reaches them too. Maybe their suffering isn't the end. Maybe they're part of a bigger story of redemption. The Bible hints at this in Isaiah 65:25, picturing a future where the wolf and the lamb will feed together. It's not a firm answer, but it lifts my heart to think their pain might not be forever. What keeps me going is this: Jesus suffered too. He didn't just watch from above. He came down, took on our pain, and died on the cross. His resurrection tells us suffering isn't the end. In Revelation 21:4, we can read that one day he will wipe every tear from their eyes. And that's a promise I cling to, for me, for kids, for every creature. And there's more. My faith says suffering can have purpose. When I offer my struggles up with Christ, it's like I'm joining him in something bigger. It doesn't make the hurt vanish, but it gives me a reason to keep going. So, why does God allow suffering? I don't have all the answers, but these scholars show us that it's not pointless. They remind us to trust God's wisdom and to see hope in his plan, and look forward to a day when all pain fades. I hope this helps you, whether and wherever you are in your journey. If it does, please subscribe. I'd love to keep exploring faith with you. Until next time, may God hold you close.